Yesterday, I made a video pretty much just telling you guys that today was going to be a monumental day for Deshaun Watson. And there was a little bit of a pipe dream that maybe this entire Deshaun Watson case fiasco could be put behind us. And it was a very tiny pipe dream, but I have some good news for us, guys. It seems like that pipe dream actually came to fruition. We could finally discuss more pleasant things than the things that Deshaun Watson was accused of. I have everything to update you guys on. Before we get to the content, every video I've made on Deshaun Watson so far has gotten demonetized, which means YouTube won't promote it to a larger audience because they can't make money off of it. So if you could leave a like on this video, you could kind of counteract that. We're also giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. We're giving away $500 to a follower of ours on Instagram, which should help you guys with those terrible gas prices currently. And we also post shorter versions of this content on my TikTok page at Mikerophone NFL. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! So now that COVID is over and events are back, I have a little bit of an event hangover. So personally, I know NFL season's over. I want to go see Excision. Yeah, a little thing you guys might not know about me is I'm a big bass head. I was trying to figure out the best means of getting a fair price ticket to Excision. And without a doubt, the answer to that question is SeatGeek, which is today's video sponsor. If you don't know what SeatGeek is, they're a ticketing app that makes buying tickets so simple. I got the app on my phone and it's fair to say that it's by far the quickest and easiest way to get yourself a cheap ticket. Whether it's concerts, baseball, basketball, football, festivals, and more, SeatGeek puts tickets all over the web in one place to make buying simple. They even have ratings to tell you how good of a deal you're getting. And the best part is, if you want to come see Excision with your boy, which would be a really freaking cool experience, might I add, when you use my promo code Mikerophone, you'll get $20 off of these tickets. That's promo code Mikerophone on SeatGeek for $20 off. And thank you, SeatGeek, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Like I said in my video yesterday, today was an absolutely monumental day for Deshaun Watson. The chances that the outcome became what it became were very slim to none. I was fully anticipating this potentially dragging on into April, and Lord, I'm so happy it's not dragging on into April. As a matter of fact, this is the most ideal situation for Deshaun Watson and for NFL fans to get this type of information because it's 4 days before free agency officially begins. So let me tell you what I'm talking about, man. Today, Deshaun Watson had a deposition where Tony Busby grilled him for 2.5 hours, and pretty much every question he was asked by Tony Busby, he took the fifth, or he said he'd choose to remain silent, which if you've ever been arrested, which I hope you guys haven't, and I'm not judging you if you did, typically an officer will read you your Miranda rights, which is you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. The reason why people don't talk in these instances is mainly because all it does is further incriminate you. It will further incriminate you. So it was in Deshaun Watson's best interest to remain quiet throughout the entire deposition. Deshaun Watson's lawyer had this to say about the deposition that went 2.5 hours, saying that we had a meaningless exercise today, but it went fine. Deshaun took the fifth, Busby asked a bunch of questions, and it was all a media moment. I warned Tony that Deshaun wasn't going to answer any questions on advice of counsel, and I suggested he put it off until Monday, but he wouldn't do that. He wants to create a media moment where he gets to ask very salacious questions. Then when Deshaun takes the fifth, he'll release those questions to try to make Deshaun look bad. It won't work. No lawyer in the universe would allow his client to answer questions about subject matter that's under investigation by the grand jury. As a result of this, we got word, which is a remarkable piece of information to get in what has been a awesome week for the NFL, might I add, that Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson will not face charges. His criminal matters are over. Now, he could still have civil matters following this, but anything in regards to him being able to practice, him being able to play, or him being able to get traded is now not a factor at all whatsoever. And you need to understand how big of a factor it was before. This was such a big deal that the Miami Dolphins didn't didn't want to trade for him. The San Francisco 49ers last year didn't want to trade for him before they drafted Trey Lance. The Denver Broncos didn't want to trade for him this past week. The Washington Commanders didn't even believe he'd get free this week and traded for Carson Wentz instead of Deshaun Watson. We already know the Miami Dolphins fiasco from this past year. They had a deal ready on the table for multiple first-round picks at the trade deadline for Deshaun Watson, but ultimately they decided to stay with Tua Tagovailoa. Most importantly, let's just take a very serious note from what Deshaun Watson's lawyer had to say in this statement, saying that we are delighted that the grand jury has looked at the matter thoroughly and reached the same conclusion we did. Deshaun Watson did not commit any crimes and is not guilty of any offenses. Now that the criminal investigations have been completed, we are happy to move forward with those civil case depositions. We will vigorously defend those cases with every ounce we have. There were no crimes here, but there is a plaintiff's attorney churning up negative press and churning up his clients, hoping for a payday. These cases have been the product of a lawyer maximizing his own personal publicity at the expense of others, including his own clients. It's time to let Deshaun move on. So the worst thing that could happen is Deshaun Watson is probably going to have to pay a decent amount of money to the individuals that have civil complaints against him, assuming that they are successful in their suit. So now that the criminal matters are officially over, which thank goodness they are, because I like to talk about football and this was way too heavy for me to cover. I'm glad we were able to cover it and we could move past it and discuss the football aspect of everything, because Deshaun Watson won't be charged, and according to Ian Rappaport, you can expect his trade market to ramp up quickly. Teams have been waiting. This clears the path for a deal by the start of the league year. So there are 3 teams that I've mentioned before that are probably the favorites to get Deshaun Watson or trade for him. From least likely to most likely, let's start with the Seattle Seahawks. They just traded the 33-year-old Russell Wilson. They got multiple first and second round picks in return for him. They have a tremendous amount of assets and salary cap space to take on Deshaun Watson's contract. It's a pretty slick way to get younger at the quarterback position. My only reservation about them trading for Deshaun Watson is the fact that
Jamal Adams, I'm the best in the nation. The best in the nation. I'm 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 the best in the nation.
You moved on from your franchise cornerstone earlier. Pete Carroll apparently wants to run the ball a lot more, and as a result, I can't imagine him going out and trading for a franchise QB after trading away his franchise QB. The second most likely is the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Houston Texans are able to get Deshaun Watson to waive his no trade clause for the Philadelphia Eagles, that would be a dream scenario for him. I mean, it would 100% be a dream scenario for them. The Philadelphia Eagles have 3 first-round picks in this year's NFL draft alone. It would be a move that wouldn't completely decimate them in the future, because it would be 1 year where they won't have as many draft picks possibly, or maybe they retain one of their draft picks this year and give up an additional future first-round pick. I don't even know if the market value for Deshaun Watson is still 3 first-round picks. I'd assume it'd be a little bit higher than Russell Wilson because he's younger than Russell Wilson, and this is a man that's literally still in his prime. He's just 27 years old at this point, and is coming off of a remarkable season the last time he did play football. But let's assume the Eagles give up 3 first-round picks to the Houston Texans to get Deshaun Watson. That would be a home run for the Houston Texans. It would be able to catalyze their rebuild, which they have a ton of holes on that team on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. Makes a lot of sense for the Texans to hope for that to happen. But in the past, Deshaun Watson said that he isn't a big fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he has a no-trade clause, so he might not waive that no-trade clause for the Philadelphia Eagles. Then there's the Carolina Panthers, which they don't have as many draft picks. They have the 6th pick in this year's NFL draft. They have future draft picks that they could trade. They're also willing to part with Christian McCaffrey to do such a trade. I'd assume this is Deshaun Watson, one of Deshaun Watson's favorites. If not this team, then possibly the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers make a lot of sense, mainly because Ben Roethlisberger recently retired. They have no contingency plan in place for that quarterback position. Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson are reportedly very, very tight, and it would be a move that would instantly launch the Pittsburgh Steelers into contention. Deshaun Watson would have a remarkable defense already. He'd have a solid stable of wide receivers and tight ends to work with, in addition to Najee Harris, although they could use some help with their offensive line. I think their biggest problem right now is finding that next QB. Now, another thing that you should bear in mind is Deshaun Watson could still face a suspension if the league concludes that he violated the personal conduct policy. Bear in mind, Jameis Winston was suspended in the past without any criminal charges filed. The NFL discipline could come at the conclusion of the league's investigation, and Roger Goodell has suspended multiple players before absent criminal charges, but for now, we shouldn't expect any changes to Watson's status. He could at least be traded, practice, and as of now, play. But there is the possibility that this man gets suspended for maybe 4 games, 8 games, or 12 games this year, but maybe the NFL will go a little bit lighter on him because this man had to sit out a whole year of playing football. Now, Deshaun Watson has a no trade clause. He'll want to talk to any interested teams willing to do a deal with the Texans. Interest will come quickly, but Watson's decision will take a few days. But at least he's not being indicted on any criminal charges. It means the NFL is going to get one of its main stars back, and it means we're going to get breaking news on a trade within the next week. Let me know in the comment section down below. Where do you think Deshaun Watson's the most likely to be traded? Personally, I'm going to put my money on the Steelers, but I don't have necessarily the greatest track record of predicting these things. As a person that grew up with his favorite football player, Michael Vick, having to sit in jail after doing something horrible, I'm very happy that Deshaun Watson, 1, didn't do anything horrible, and that's what they ruled, and 2, is going to get the opportunity to continue to dazzle us on the football field. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.